Hi everyone, welcome back to Kaylin's Corner podcast. I'm your host, Kaylin Grace, and this week we are diving into body image and body confidence. Okay. Next, I'm going to talk about genetics and how it plays a role into our body type and body composition. It says here that 40% to 70% of your body composition is determined by genetics. This means 40% to 70%, which is on average over 50% of your body is determined by your mom and dad. Less than half of your body is actually determined by the way you eat or how much you work out or just you as a person. Most of the time, it's out of your control. It's not insecurity that is worth it at all. None of your insecurities should be, obviously, but it's one that literally you cannot change at all. Obviously, to an extent, like, of course, you can lose a lot of weight, like, you can change yourself, but most of the time, it's really hard to. The people that are super, super skinny, a lot of time it's genetics. Most of the time, it's not because they're working out all the time. It's because if you look at their parents at that age, they were also skinny as well. Lifestyle matters, obviously, but you cannot totally override DNA, and you have to learn that you cannot compare your current body to someone else's because of genetics. I used to compare my body to these girls on TikTok that were so skinny and had a flat stomach, and then I realized that that's not my genetics. I am born to be short and small. Like, both my parents were like that. If my lifestyle habits change in college, that might affect how I look, but my body is from my parents. Next, let's talk about body confidence on our period. This might be a little TMI, so if you don't want to listen, just how do I explain this in a nice way? Okay, so for me, this whole thing is about what I call the fat scare. You're not fat, you're just bloated. Everyone deals with it, obviously. Me specifically, every single time I'm on my period, I always think I'm getting fat. But I'm not getting fat, I'm just bloated, be for real. I'm bloated. And I can tell because it's temporary, it goes away. After a week, back to normal. I'm back to my normal self. I was just bloated. Kaylin, you need to stop eating. Like, why are you eating so healthy? Like, you're getting fat. Oh my gosh. You're on your period. You should be extra nice to yourself. On my period, I always let myself eat an extra dessert or something like that just to be extra kind for myself because your body's working hard. We've been taught that period symptoms aren't normal. Everyone goes through it. Everyone has period symptoms. I don't know why we created an insecurity out of something that is medically normal and that literally every single girl has dealt with. You need to be extra, extra kind to yourself on your period and extra, extra accepting of yourself. Reminding myself that getting bloated and having all these period symptoms is normal and temporary just clicked with me. That made sense to me, and so hopefully it makes sense to you as well. Another thing I'm going to talk about is how you are not a trend. Every single decade, if you look, has unrealistic standards, but they're all different. The trends change every single year, like every single decade. And so your body now might be the ideal body in 10 years, but you cannot beat yourself up for not matching this decade or this year's perfect body. The ideal is always changing, so why try to fit into something that's going to change in a year or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10? Why try to fit into something that's going to change so fast anyway? It's so hard to fit into that standard of following all of it. And if you think about all of the decades and everything, they changed so much throughout all the years. Alright, I'm going to read off a few quotes for you guys. First one is, you aren't an image, you are an experience. I love this one because it shows that you are not just your body. You are your whole soul, your personality, your actions, your choices, everything. You cannot capture who you are as a person by a photo. Someone cannot ask you the question of who you are and you just show them a photo. That clicked with me so much because I've gotten questions and they're like, oh, who are you as a person? Would you submit a photo of yourself? No, that's what you look like. That is not who you are. Another quote I'm going to read off is, life is too short to spend at war with yourself. That also clicked with me because last year I was always constantly at war with myself, with my own body. And I was trying to eat less and get smaller. Nothing changed. I didn't lose weight. I honestly gained weight because I was working out so much, which is fine. But why would you want to spend all of your 80 years or so on this planet hating yourself and your body? When in 80 years, I say this all the time, you're going to be dead in the nicest way possible. We only live 80 years. So why would you even want to spend 1 year hating your body? Why would you want to waste that? Another quote I'm going to read off is, feeling confident in your own skin is what makes you beautiful. Being beautiful is a whole feeling, is a whole thing. You will radiate off beauty. When you're happy with yourself, when you're smiling, when you're laughing, you are literally glowing. That is what true beauty is, at least in my opinion, obviously. That was kind of tea, but next quote, last quote. Your physical appearance doesn't define you, your actions, words, and choices do. Moving on, eventually you will get to a point where you will just stop comparing yourself. And after working on it a lot, I got to a point where I stopped looking in the mirror. I would pass by and I would just look at my face and I would smile. I would just be happy in my own skin and feel confident in the way I looked, that it got to a point where it wasn't like, oh, something clicked and I was all of a sudden happy with myself. It was slowly, I started really down here and slowly it just got up to here. And I didn't even realize that I wasn't insecure about my body anymore. It was just all of a sudden I just wasn't. And hopefully you can get to a point too. And you won't notice it right away. It took me a few months to recognize it actually. Once I got to that point, I was so happy and I was so content on sticking with it because I knew I didn't want to go back. And so now I still have to work hard to keep up my body confidence. But now that I'm at this point, I'm just like happy enough that I got to this point and so proud that I did, that I'm determined enough to stay there. And hopefully you can be too. All right, here are some truths I'm going to give you. Your value is not from your physical appearance. You can think highly of your looks, but your looks cannot be the only reason why you value yourself. You can think, oh yeah, I'm gorgeous, I'm beautiful, because you are, obviously. But that cannot be the whole reason why you love yourself. You love yourself because of you as a person, everything you are. That's why you love yourself, not because, oh, I look good in jeans. Oh, I look skinny today. That's why I love myself. You have to love yourself for you, obviously. Just something else you have to accept and learn to love as well. But you need to value your soul and personality over your body, because your body is not the problem. Trends will change. All the filters in your face, those will fade. But the one constant in your life is going to be you. You will grow as a person. You will become better and better and better. But you as a person will not change. You will always be you and you will always be stuck with you. So why not learn to love yourself a little earlier in life so you can spend the rest of your life happy, because you already learned how to love yourself. Because you are not just a number on a scale. You are not one photo. You are not the number of your followers. You are your heart, your mind, and your soul. That's what makes you, not your body. Instead of tearing yourself down, try giving yourself a compliment, doing something that you enjoy, like spending some self-care activities. Just try to love yourself a little more every single day and remind yourself that you are worth more than what you see in the mirror. Well, that concludes my body confidence podcast episode. Thank you so much for listening in. I appreciate it so much more than you know. I love you guys all. Please stay tuned for more. But bye, besties. Love you all.